Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, Local Works Wheat Ridge, provided by its Executive Director, Paige Piper.
Local Works is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to make Wheat Ridge a more vibrant and sustainable place to live and work. Our mission and action is programming that provides neighborhood revitalization and small business support, keeping and growing the businesses we know and love in Wheat Ridge. In simpler form, we provide connection. Connection to business, connection to community.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Meg Smith.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Today, I'm here with Dr. Jen Reed from Made Strong Physical Therapy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So tell everyone all about Made Strong and your journey into physical therapy.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been the owner of Made Strong Physical Therapy for the past little over 3 years. I started in 2020, which was a fun time to start a business, but we've made it. And I'm in Wheat Ridge inside of a gym here called Vantage Movement. And my business journey has, I've kind of started in different locations, but I've really kind of come into my own and seeing things grow and kind of the population that I love to work with. I guess I'll start kind of my story of getting into physical therapy, which kind of blends into, why I started my business and kind of how I got here. So I grew up playing soccer competitively in high school, and I played in college. And that was kind of my first exposure to physical therapy. I got hurt a lot and had many knee surgeries, which was tough as a high schooler and kind of going through kind of some of that adversity and kind of not being able to do the thing that you love the most and kind of having to find my purpose again through PT. And I really loved my physical therapist and had always loved learning about the body and just really valued the connection that I had with her and really saw that as a potential career option for me. So went through physical therapy school. I, helping my patients is, what I love most about my job. It's very rewarding, and being able to kind of instill hope and confidence and trust in them when, they're at their lowest is a really special, part of their journey with overcoming pain or injury or surgery. And I didn't necessarily anticipate starting a business coming out of physical therapy school, but I was finding that I was not really given as much time with each client as I would have hoped, kind of in a traditional PT clinic. I was feeling really rushed, and I just felt like there was a lot that was left unsaid, or kind of a lot of my patients were feeling like they're being bounced around from different providers, or, just not really feeling like they had a good long-term solution. And so kind of found myself asking, like, what would happen, or how would outcomes be different if I had as much time as I felt like each person needed, and just kind of being able to give them the right environment to heal and feel heard. So that's where kind of Made Strong happened. I see a lot of active individuals. I see a variety of things, but a lot of active individuals and people with chronic pain or just nagging injuries that they can't seem to kind of get down to the bottom of or find some of those like underlying root causes. I like to take a more holistic approach and looking at, okay, like, why did this happen in the first place? If you've been to PT before and it's gotten better, but why is it coming back? Kind of what are those missing pieces that maybe have been overlooked in the past, and giving people, again, just a long-term solution to allow their body to heal, but then also prevent injury from coming back in the future.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because if you're in one of those more traditional clinics, isn't it like 15 minutes or something with each person?
It's like
that's crazy.
15 to 20 minutes. And, you may go in and your PT is already working with one or two other people, or you're passed off to a helper, and, they're doing the best they can too, but it's not, the quality isn't always there. And with a lot of complex issues, you need that one-on-one time and really individualized and unique to you. It can't be just kind of a generic cookie cutter approach with more complex things going on.
Right. Yeah. Because you really have to get to the bottom. I mean, you're trying to root cause this person's pain.
Right.
And that takes a lot of like analysis and discussion. And
Yep.
yeah, so good for you. I'm glad that you get to do it the right way now.
Me too.
And help people get results. That's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about why. I mean, I think it's understandable why folks would choose you versus that traditional PT just based on the time that you can spend with them. But there may be more to it than that. Are there other reasons that you think that people like to work with you over, an alternative?
Yeah. I mean, I think especially if like you've been struggling with something and feeling like, okay, I've tried PT, I've tried going to a chiropractor, I've tried multiple things and you're kind of at your last resort. That's kind of where I see a lot of people coming in and why they are choosing me because like you said, that time piece and kind of wanting a more individualized approach. I do also see a lot of athletes kind of returning to sport and sometimes kind of like needing that higher level training. Like if you're trying to get back into skiing or, running a race or you have, these goals for yourself that you may not be able to mimic again in kind of that traditional PT setting. Like I'm going to work you really hard and mimic kind of what demand your body's going to need to take on, depending on what you're trying to get back to. And a lot of times, like we need to mimic that to help you feel confident in getting back to your sport. Because if you don't feel confident already, that's kind of where the risk for re-injury can come in as well. If you're out there and your body may be ready, but you're not mentally prepared for it, kind of just having those reps and like, even like longer sessions to be like, okay, like we're going to get you tired. And can you still maintain like the movement patterns and like the form and everything that we've been working hard on up until that point. So that's another kind of piece of if you're needing that higher level kind of training essentially.
Yeah. And you have the gym at your disposal because you're co-located. So you can really work them out.
Yeah, for sure.
In the gym environment. So
it's
that's
not easy going through the motions for sure.
Yeah. Because you do, to your point, you need to make sure they can maintain the proper movement and not re-injure themselves and, working them out in the gym. That makes a lot of sense. So I like that. Excellent. So what hardships have you encountered in your business that, created a challenge that you had to overcome that made your business better? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I guess just initially, like, jumping into business, like we don't learn that in healthcare or physical therapy school. So I've had I'm really grateful for the mentors that I've had to just kind of help guide me into learning kind of the ins and outs of running a business and marketing and sales and connections and networking. And, those are all things that, I kind of had to learn on my own or kind of just try out and kind of get in the swing of that to allow my business to continue to grow and just get more involved in the community here. Because more recently I had surgery again for the same injury that got me into PT in the first place in March. So I fell skiing over the winter and tore ligaments in my knee. And so I had surgery in March. And so it was tough because, being self-employed and not being able to work is a challenge in itself, and being able to kind of build back up was challenging. But I think I knew kind of going into that injury, like something good was going to come out of it. Like it had the first couple times around that I did that. And it was really interesting just kind of being on the other side of PT now as a PT myself. Like I had been through the process as a patient, and that was, before I became a physical therapist, but now really at the same time, understanding even to a higher level of like what my patients are going through was really, really cool. And, it was a challenging thing to overcome, like physically, but I think I learned a lot in more empathy for my own clients. So it kind of just reinforced like why I do what I do, and, being able to understand what my patients are going through. And, I'd find myself like kind of struggling with the same things that they would. I'm like, okay, Jen, like, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell your own clients? But it's hard. Like, it's hard going through an injury and like how much it can kind of derail your life and your routine. And just being able to overcome that is really special. And so I kind of look back on that most recent experience where I'm grateful for that experience to just help with relating to my own clients more.
Yeah. And you can really tell them, look, I've done it. I've been right where you are. You can cheer them on a little bit more intensely, right? Because they can understand that you've just gone through that. So that's, I think, a good way to relate to your patients for sure. So do you have any news or specials or seasonal information that you want to share with our listeners?
Yeah. So I just moved into this new gym space. So it's an Vantage Movement, and they have a great gym with group classes and personal trainers. And it's been really special to be able to just connect and kind of almost co-treat with them of, okay, kind of bridging the gap between, okay, if you're having an injury, bridging that gap from kind of rehab back into personal training, performance, kind of having that environment to help you reach your goals has been really cool. So kind of if you're interested in, looking for a new gym space, I'd highly recommend them. I offer free evaluations for the members of the gym. So that's another perk of joining the gym. So would love to have people come and check it out and just kind of check out the space too.
Awesome. So yeah, if you're out there and you're listening and you've got like a nagging pain that's keeping you from working out, maybe, the combination of Vantage and Made Strong is a good option because you can come in and comfortably get assessed so that you don't further injure yourself and you can get back into, your preferred movement or sport. And so, yeah, I think that's a great message that you're there to partner in support of healthy movement.
Yes.
And heal folks. That's awesome. So how do you get involved in like the local community? So you're located in Wheat Ridge, and are there any, things that you're involved in the Wheat Ridge community that you want to give a shout out to, or how do you connect with folks?
Yeah. So I think, again, kind of being in the gym has been a really great option of really connecting with the members here. I've kind of gone through different networking and just connecting with other small businesses around the area, which I think has been really helpful for just, supporting each other. As a small business owner, it's challenging and can get lonely sometimes. It's just me. So being able to kind of connect with people that are, kind of going through similar challenges and just be an avenue of support, I think is great. And yeah, I think before was targeting all of Denver, I was mobile. And so I was traveling to people's homes. And so just being in like having a home base in Wheat Ridge, just being able to be open to other events and like, if any kind of fundraising events I'm interested in, connecting more into, and yeah, just kind of getting more of a sense of the community here since moving in here in September.
Awesome. So what do you do for fun? Obviously you enjoy soccer, but we like to get to know you too on this podcast. So what do you do for fun when you're not working?
So anything outside, I don't actively play soccer anymore, but that's okay. But yeah, I love to be outside and hike and run and ride my bike and kind of just check out everything that Colorado has to offer. I guess kind of a seasonal athlete, depending on what the weather is outside is what I'm doing. So like in the winter, we'll be planning on getting back into skiing this winter. And, just I'm loving this time of year right now because it's not too hot and it's just beautiful and the sun's out and it's great. So,
yes.
Yeah. Anything outside, I love to do, and connecting with people outside is fun too.
Excellent. So I know we get that same answer from a lot of folks. It's like one of these days, there's going to be some real weird hobby that's like not related to Colorado.
Right. I know.
But it's such a nice place we live. Like, it makes sense.
Right.
So how should people get in touch with you? So say they're listening and they want to learn more about your services or Vantage or recovering from an injury. What's the best way to connect?
Yeah. So you can follow my Instagram. It's Made Strong PT. And there I'll post kind of updates, what's going on in my business, what's going on with kind of what, things I'm helping people overcome. And we'll also post resources there of, quick exercises or things that you can do if you're struggling with, shoulder pain or whatever. But also my email is a good way to get a hold of me, Jennifer@madestrongpt.com. And that's also my website. So there's more info on there to kind of learn more about my process and, ways to get a hold of me. And always happy to chat with people too. Like if you're unsure about, is PT the right kind of route for me, or, do I need to go and see my physician first? I always will chat with people on the phone before their first session, just to make sure, okay, like this is what I think the best next step is. And if not, and then I'll tell you that too, of like, I think there are some things that you may need to get ruled out by your physician, or you may need some imaging. So just kind of having that first touch point can be helpful to just know, okay, like I know what direction to go into. And so I'm always happy to do that before kind of committing to a full on session.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. That's a very good service. Very helpful. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com or call 720-295-9588.